Happy Friday. How's everyone?
Great.
Everyone good? Any big plans for the weekend? Open house is good to hear. Show properties, good to hear. Anyone else?
Stay busy.
Staying busy, staying consistent. Yeah, absolutely. So one of my biggest passions is negotiations. So if you don't know who I am Simon Casares. I am the team leader, managing broker. I have 26 years of experience. Yeah, I know. I still look like a kid. Okay. All the gray hair is from years of battling.
That's just how.
I know, right? Battling in the trenches of real estate transactions. So it's been an awesome ride. I would not change it any bit, and more so the finesse of negotiations. I'm going to give you my perspective and how to navigate, how to maneuver, and always make it a win-win for all parties. But more so the challenges, right? When going into negotiations, because negotiation is done on a daily basis. And that can be with significant others, spouses, children sometimes negotiate. Okay, if you have children, it's and I've seen it firsthand is the child will ask for money. And then the parent will say, well, no, I don't have money. And then the child will go to the other parent and say, well, mom said that you could give me $5 or $10, right? And it's that back and forth, right? But ultimately, children also negotiate with us without even knowing. Our emotions are a little different, right? Than ultimately when you're involved in a very difficult transaction, and more so when you have other people's emotions too. You as a real estate professional have to also hold your composure, your demeanor, and your professionalism, if that makes sense, right? So session 18 is going to dive deep into how negotiations and the offers, but more so, I'm going to share with you some insights, and how you can really fine tune your ability, even though you think maybe I don't have that finesse, I don't have that style or the ability. Okay. And I'm going to tell you that, yes, you do. If you just give yourself and open up and be like a sponge, you can be one of the best negotiators out there. Remember, negotiation is not strong arming someone, right? I'm better than you. I have more years of experience. I've closed more deals. I'm the master of this neighborhood, right? A lot of people think that's negotiations, but negotiations is more of the bigger picture. What is it that we can do to accomplish the end goal of completing this transaction, getting the listing executed because of your finesse, and obviously the conversational piece that got you the listing, or working with a buyer as well. Okay, so let's dive deep into this. And how long do I have you for? 2 hours with Simon? That's a blessing. I'm kidding. All right, so negotiations. What's today's agenda? The 3 P's of negotiations. We're going to do a recap and obviously some insights of ahas. What is negotiations? Negotiation tips, daily success. Also, I'm going to provide you, so please make sure you write notes, okay? Because I'm old school. And I still believe in the old school way of handshaking, eye-to-eye conversations in person than texting, emailing, or over the phone, okay? That's just who I am. And guess what? It works, even to this day. People tend to hide with a computer. People tend to hide with a text. And sometimes things get out of context. And you think, it just happened to me this morning. where a text message came my way and it was kind of left field. And I could have taken it left field, but I chose to take it right field. Okay. What I mean by that is if you get yourself in the trenches of that chaos, emotional, argumental, then you're just putting more fuel in that fire. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up killing the deal, if that makes sense. The approach is to make it a win from all aspects of it. If someone throws it left field, you're going to navigate it right field to eventually get it center mass. Okay, and I know I'm going a little crazy on it, but you'll get what I'm trying to say. All right, you guys ready for it? So negotiating is not something to be avoided or feared. It's an everyday part of life. Absolutely. How many have ever been to a yard sale? Okay, or a swap meet, okay, or a retail store, right? Have you done any type of negotiations or ask? I do that on a regular basis. Even places that you wouldn't even think to ask for a deal. It doesn't hurt, right? It doesn't hurt to ask. What can they say? No, we don't give any deals or discounts, right? But what if they give you some other incentive? Maybe they give you on your next purchase, we can offer you a free drink or a free meal or something. I don't know, but it doesn't hurt to ask, right? Well, real estate is no difference, okay? This is your ability and your position to really understand the craft of negotiations, okay? You don't want to avoid it because there's no way avoiding it, but don't fear it. Oh, I'm too shy to say if I can ask for it, okay? I did this this morning with a HVAC company. I got 3 different quotes for heating and AC and ventilation. One quoted me 13,000, another one quoted me 12,000, and then this last one quoted me 10,000. And guess what I asked? Can you do better? And just by asking, I was able to discount another $1,000. And he says, I can probably do it for $9,000. Okay. I didn't ask a specific number. I just asked, can you do better? He gave me what I was looking without me actually asking for a specific number. You see where I'm going with this? People are willing to do it as long as you know how to navigate that conversation. Okay. So when he said 9,000, I says, you know, that's awesome. I got 13, 12. I'm at 9,000, and he's going to do the same thing as the rest of them. I said, you got the bid. So he's going to be working on it this weekend. Okay. Again, real estate is dynamic in that way that when it comes to price, terms, and conditions, requests of repairs, price, any replacements, or even a credit, right? All those are all navigations. Now, there's different segues in real estate. And what I mean by different segues is you got negotiations in the beginning, you got negotiations in the middle, and guess what? You may have negotiations even towards the end. Something that's going sideways, you need to bring them all together, find the avenue of solution before this deal falls apart and cancels, right? Your finesse, your way, and your ability will definitely get it to the home stretch. Okay. And again, please, if you have any questions, please let me know. This is an open realm conversation. I want to keep it as entertaining, even though it's very dry material, but we can make it very, very fun if you choose to, or I can keep it very boring if you choose to. Either way is perfectly fine. I'm committed to you for 2 hours. Is that okay? What's that? No, because I already have an engagement after that I have to commit in. And by that time, my phone and my texts and my emails are going to be blowing me up. So, but if you ever, and I mean this with sincerity, I'm here. If you ever need to talk to me, I'm here as a resource. You can pick my brain, just like anyone here in the office, right? We're here to help you because we want to see you succeed at a very high level. Does that make sense? Cool. What is negotiations? I think I already kind of planned it out already. So obviously negotiations and utilizing the W4C2Ts, right? Win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing, customers. Always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more, trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, success results through people. Here's the thing, folks. This is negotiations right here. Okay, take a photo, embed it in your head, because everything that resonates from here, folks, is spot on to negotiations. Think about it for a minute. You're involved in a situation or a transaction where you got to see the win and all, win-win or no deal, right? Your buyers, your sellers, your investors, your developers, you buying a property, you investing in a property, you selling your property, right? You need to see the win in all. Obviously, the biggest one for me is integrity. Always doing the right thing, okay? In this industry, it's tough. It's a very cutthroat industry. But at the end, I want to be able to sleep well at night. I want to make sure that I wake up, that I did the best that I could possibly do. And it boils to integrity, in my opinion. Okay. If you want to survive this industry, and survive meaning 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, I'm pushing 30 years already. Gosh. Time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. That's right. That's right. But it's so true. You know, you can definitely survive and be the best version of yourself. But real estate, you have that golden ticket, folks, that license that you purposely got. You saw the value of it. And for me, that license that merits the ability for us to get compensated for work that we've done to put a buyer, a seller in a transaction and get paid a percentage of a purchase price is mind-blowing. The beauty is you can make money than a doctor, an attorney, a business owner, and not have to put so much hours, days to close a deal. You can close deals in 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 days sometimes when you have cash deals. And we see these deals coming in with these fat commission checks coming in. That could be one of you. Imagine how much that would change your life. It's an easy. Now, it's easy for me to say this, and I know sitting there, it's probably not. You can easily make a 6-figure income in this industry, working part-time. Working part-time. It's all up here, folks. Okay? It's all up here. If you want it bad, nothing can stop you. If you're willing to put in the effort, nothing can stop you. If you look at the bigger picture and the vision, nothing can stop you. Guess who's stopping you? It's you, yourself, and I. You're the only one that can stop you from opening opportunities, opening doors, and really benefiting from real estate. Because eventually, when you get great at real estate sales and helping other people achieve their dream of home ownership or investments, then you should give yourself that as well. And what I mean by that is you become an investor, you become homeowners, you become investors, and you buy real estate. Because the number one beautiful thing about real estate is you can become very successful and a multimillionaire. Try that with a business. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. Okay, I know it's quiet, but look at all the top agents in our office or out there. You see them on social media as well, right? They've succeeded at a very high level, but it boils down to all of these terms. Path of negotiations. There are two options after an offer is presented. Offer, acceptance, and close. Offer, rejection, counter, negotiations, acceptance, or rejections. This one is obviously the best, right? A clean offer and ultimately gets submitted to the seller, and the seller accepts the terms of the buyer. And now you're in escrow and ready to close. Okay. But not all go that way. Not all go that smooth. Most of your transactions are like this. If you lowball the offer, if you don't do your homework, if you don't understand the elements of that offer or that home, your offer will immediately be rejected. Okay? Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? You submit an offer, you've seen multiple homes, right? You've taken your clients on several weekends, and now they identified a property that they love to make an offer, and their offer gets rejected. My question to you is, whose fault is that? Okay, tell me more. See, true. I see everyone, they feel guilty. Because I know you want to say it, but you don't want to say it's the agent's fault. It's not the agent's fault, folks. Just because you get your offer rejected doesn't mean it's your fault. And I was waiting for someone to say it's the agent's fault, but no one said, no one even thought of going in that direction. And I get it. It's not the agent's fault. Okay. I just wanted to get your perspective on it, because you can submit a very solid offer to the seller and your offer may still be rejected because they have 10 other offers. And those 9 other offers that they got, yours was the only one that was a conventional, all the others were cash deals. So there's a lot of stipulations on your offer, right? That's can happen on the rejection. The cool thing is if we could get our offer accepted, even on a multiple counter offer, but let's say you do get a counter. At least we got a counter, but there's still no guarantee that your offer will be considered. Because if they submitted and they received 5 offers and you got a counter, guess what? You're one of 4 other offers that are in competition with your client. So now you really have to bring in your A game on how that looks. The best approach would be is call. If you get a counter, don't assume. Be proactive, be engaged, call the listing agent and say something to this matter. I received your counter offer. Thank you so much. We're super excited. We want this property. I just need to know how many other offers that we're in competition with. Can you elaborate a little bit on that so we know? The agent says, well, it's you and 3 other offers. Okay, so I have 3 other offers. I'm going to dive deep and I'm going to try to get as much intel. Why do you think I'm trying to get this information? Because I want to put my client in the best position for their offer to go back to option 1, right? Get the offer accepted. But if I don't know what I don't know, how am I going to position my client in the best alignment to that? This is why you need to be proactive in your engagement, folks. And I mean it with sincerity and with the passion, because I see a lot of agents get so frustrated when my offer didn't get accepted. And I ask why? Well, I sent a counter. Okay, what else did you do? That was it. Well, okay, then that's why your offer got rejected. I'm just saying, right? If you're in a multiple counter offer, don't expect your offer to be accepted. But if you know for a fact that it's only you and the seller, then there's some leniency on that. There's a little bit of give in that. But still don't take it to heart, okay? Because you're the only offer. What happens if the seller gets another offer at the last minute? That can happen. Now what? Now what are you going to do? What are you going to say? Because now the listing agent can say, look, unfortunately, I have to send you a withdrawal of offer because there's another offer that came in. Don't get too confident until you have mutual acceptance, guys. Mutual acceptance, and it has to be in writing. It cannot be verbal. Oh, yeah, you got the offer. And then 2 hours later, oh, by the way, another offer better came in and they accepted that offer. That happens. Please be very careful, but also be diligent and be proactive, folks. Negotiations is asking a lot of questions to embed as much intel information to arm you with the right necessary tool to really get to the top. Does that make sense? Or am I just sugarcoating this for you guys? Okay. Any questions on this diagram? Thoughts, question? Yes, sir.
So I guess can you like role play it?
Yeah.
Let's say like you're, it's up to listening. What kind of questions can I ask like to dictate, can I ask them, hey, what kind of offers do you have? What kind of loans are they?
Well, let's role play.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Steven from South Bay, Keller Williams. I have a client that really likes your house and we put an offer, but we got a negotiation and I want to see what coming out of the offers do you have for this current listing?
I have 5 offers.
Yeah, 5 offers, awesome. These 5 offers, are they all cash, are they cash loans, conventional loans? FHA?
One is a cash for our conventional, and one is an FHA. No, I take that back. 3 are conventional, one is an FHA, and one's a cash offer.
Now, with this, what's, are you leaning towards anything in particular? Or is your seller interested in like, let's say it's 7.5, right?
Well, the property is listed for $1 million. Okay, so it's listed for $1 million. I have 3 of the offers that are above asking, and then 2 are at asking.
And those are all the conventional ones.
So as I mentioned, I have 3 that are conventional, 1 that's an FHA, and 1 is a cash. The cash is at asking, the FHA is at asking, and the other 3 conventionals are above asking.
What could it take to get my offer to be accepted by my client? They really love this house.
What would it take? Bring your biggest and best offer with the least amount of terms. I can present it to the seller and the seller will ultimately make that decision. The seller wants a fast closing. Okay. The seller does not want to do any type of repairs whatsoever, so no concessions. But sellers also looking at their net proceeds too. So the more they can make, the better that they will be in that position because they are leaving out of the state. Any other questions?
Even though should I be asking other questions?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I don't know what the question is.
Okay, well, you did pretty good. Yes.
If agent could tell me like where we are, like how close are we?
All right, so let me flip it with you. Yes.
No, I just said what she said. It's a combination of those two, because you want to try and get as close to or over that number without him exactly telling you what that number is. I mean,
Okay, all right.
I know that you would ask a couple of other questions, you know, and
Yeah.
I know you're looking at contingencies and you're looking at the loan package, you know, I mean, if you're dealing with an FHA, you might be slightly at a disadvantage versus conventional, obviously, a cash.
That's right.
You know, so there's
Yeah.
different loan product versus also contingency, but man, if they just want the net, you know, proceed, then you would say, hey, you know. Give me a number, how I can get over that, you know, and then you might be able to leapfrog past, you know, your cash guy who is at asking versus your two conventionals or three that are above.
That's right. Yeah, good point. Yeah. All right, let's flip the table. All right, you're the listing agent. Okay, and I'm gonna be calling you because I need to get as much intel. So this is how we're gonna real play. Okay, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, who's this?
This is Stephen from.
Hey, Stephen. I know, Stephen. Hey, Stephen, it's Simon over at KW South Bay. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, my man. Hey, congratulations on the listing you have over on 123 ABC. Listen, my client is very interested in the property. We've seen it. Hits all the bells and whistles. Do you have any offers?
Yeah, we have 3 offers.
3 offers, okay. Out of these 3 offers, any of them at asking or above asking?
We have 1 above asking and 2 of them are.
At asking, okay. How soon is the seller looking to accept an offer?
We're gonna review offers and on Monday.
Okay, so we have till Monday, and that's when the seller will start reviewing. Okay, so my question is, the highest offer you have, what price is that?
1.1.
What is it? 1.1? Okay. Okay, what is your seller looking to get out of this deal? Let me switch it. What is the seller asking? Are they looking at more of the price? Are they looking more of the terms? Or are they looking more of the condition? What I mean is their biggest factor here is their price, getting the highest. I'm just trying to get an area of understanding before we present an offer to you and your client. Is it the price? Are they looking for a fast closing? Or are they looking to reduce, contingency periods, where they don't want 17 days? They want to, have someone come in, do physical inspections within 5 or 10 days. I just, because again, I don't want to waste your time, but I really want to align the offer that will give us the advantage of at least consideration.
Oh, yeah, I guess we're looking for price and terms.
Okay, so if we were to throw $1,050,000, would that be something that the seller may consider?
I mean, I'll present it to the seller, so I will take the offer and we'll see, right, and come back.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, Stephen. If I give you a compelling offer, can you present today and get an answer to me today? If they will accept?
I guess I have passed them now.
Okay. So if I present an offer to you today, can you present it tonight
Sure.
and get back to me tonight with an answer of yes, they will accept my offer?
I can present it, but I can't guarantee a yes or no.
Okay, I'm not asking a guarantee, I'm just asking if you're willing to present it.
Oh, yeah.
You said price and terms were the terms.
Yeah,
The terms are they're contingent. They need to sell this before they can buy, and they might need rent back.
okay, how much, good question, how much of a rent back are they looking?
They need about 15 to 21 days on a new place.
Very cool, all right. Well, the good thing is that my clients are living with family right now, they sold their property. So they don't necessarily have any issues with that. So if I put that on the contract, would that be a benefit to your client if that would work?
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off them to find a place, and to rush into making a decision on the next purchase.
Beautiful. What else? What else can we accommodate your client? Because my clients really want this place.
What's selling it as is, and we've had one of the offers asking for credit towards the new roof, and we don't really agree with that. The roof was replaced about 10 years ago. It's got another 5 years left on it, so.
Not a problem. My buyer is a contractor. He's a roofer. He'll do it at a very discount, so I'm not even worried about that. So we'll buy it as is.
Okay, so that takes out, buyer contingencies. He's gonna look at my contingency on the seller side and then waive the new roof. So we might be able to talk. Let's do it. So just look at your best and highest offer. So
Okay. You think I'll get an answer by this evening?
the answer is, it's gonna be contingent on my client. I really will, present this to them and we'll have a really good heart talk and we'll get back to you. I'll call you tonight.
Okay. That's all I'm asking is if you can at least give me a yay or a nay, or even a counter. I mean, I don't want to waste your time. But, absolutely.
Wait till next Monday, that's 48 hours from now. We need to get
That's
this
right.
done.
That's right. Again, I'm very efficient, professional. I'm constantly in communications with you. I have a history of, closing deals early before the due date, and all I want to do is align myself to have and make it a win-win for both. So if you can do me that favor and at least present the offer tonight and give me an answer, that would help me tremendously. That way I can relay the information. If not, I don't want to waste the time. We can pivot into another property. Awesome. Thank you. Someone else had a question? Good job, by the way.
Renting back, is that? Like, is that bad or?
It's either or. It really depends. The problem with a lot of sellers is their concern is they're going to be without a house. If we close in 15 days and they haven't identified a property, their concern is I'm going to be homeless per se, not necessarily homeless, but they're not going to have a house because they've sold the property to the buyer. So they put these stringent conditions that they'll do a seller in possession, meaning that once the deal closes, they're allowing the seller to stay in possession with the property for X amount of days or weeks or even months. So it's a good thing because, and this is why I'm asking these questions, because I want to know the seller's intention. Because I don't want to be a hard close and then it bends and breaks because the seller's like, oh man, I need extra time. This is why you want to be proactive in getting as much information, because the listing agent has all of the information of the motivation of the seller. I don't know that. This is why I'm asking this information to position myself so when I present the offer is concise to what the listing agent is asking of me. Yes, sir.
Now, Steve mentioned the price specific 1.1. That's pretty rare. They would mention an actual number, right?
Why is it rare?
I just wondered, I know, because oftentimes the client's not going to say, exactly,
I'm already giving above asking.
True, but if he says 1.1, that makes your job a lot easier. How often, I'm asking you a question, how often does that really happen in real life? Where if it's $1 million and he already has 2 offers at 1.1, is he really gonna say 1.1, in this case? Or is he gonna say, best and highest offer, so
Yeah.
otherwise it's still a guess.
So let's role play. Okay, you're the listing agent. You're going to be hard on that. You're not going to give me that information. You're going to say what you said. Ring, ring.
Hello,
Hey, is this Lloyd?
yes, this is Lloyd.
Hey, Lloyd, it's Simon over at KW. How are you, my man?
Good, good.
Awesome. Listen, that property you have listed on 123 ABC. Clients are very interested on the property. Do you have any offers on it?
Yes, I do, I have 4.
4 offers. Congratulations. That's awesome. Do you have offers at or above asking?
Well, it's turnkey property, fully renovated. So
That's right.
I have 3.
Okay.
over asking.
Over asking?
1 right at asking.
Gotcha. How soon are you going to present to your seller?
Let's see, we just closed the first, public open house Saturday, we'll be talking Monday by 5 p.m.
Monday, 5 p.m. Wonderful. Okay. I get it. What's the, what is the sweet spot that your client is looking for to make it enticing? And that way we don't have to wait till Monday to get an answer.
Well, my clients have already identified the new property they want to live in. It's not contingent on selling this, so they're ready to go. The house is fully staged, so they've already moved out of the property.
Okay.
So, so right now it's just, bring me your highest and best offer, so.
Highest and best. And what is that? What is the highest and best that they're willing to take it off the market if we present an offer tonight?
Well, I can tell you that the first number is the 1 million, and the second number needs to be above 1.1.
1.1. Okay, 1.1. Okay, so if we come in at 1.125, would that take it off the market?
No,
No. Okay, why?
because out of the 3, one of them is already above that.
Okay, my client has given me authorization to go up to 1.150, 1,150,000. So again, I don't want to waste your time. Client really wants it. They don't want to wait till Monday. We can put in a clean offer tonight. If you're willing to present it, we're willing to go up to 1,150,000 if your client would consider.
I'd be willing to entertain that as long as there's not a long contingency on inspections, termite, other things like
I'll
that.
reduce all the
If it's slowing down the
contingencies.
process, Then the answer is gonna be, we'll go with that.
Completely understandable. Again, clean offer contingencies will all be reduced down to 10 days. We'll waive the loan, we'll waive the appraisal. My client's coming in with 70% down. So they're only financing 30% of it. So it's a clean slam dunk. We've already looked at all these properties. This is the one that hits all the bells and whistles that they're looking for. They don't want to waste time. This is why they're pulsing me hard to get an answer tonight. They don't want to be in any type of negotiations with any offers. This is why we're willing to go above and beyond, because they know the urgency. This is why I'm asking these questions, if we can work together.
Absolutely, I appreciate your, your talk to me. No, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'd rather, have these discussions now than have these discussions, 24 hours into Tuesday and Wednesday. So, submit your highest and best offer, and I'll meet with my clients tonight, and then I'll give you a call.
Wonderful. That's all I'm asking, my man. Thank you very much. I'll get that over to you shortly.
Thank you.
Awesome. What do you think, guys? Yeah, good, bad, ugly? What's the takeaway here? I mean, I was just asking general questions, guys. He positioned himself well too. He didn't really say, because he's not the owner of the property. He's only saying, in my negotiations, what did I do that I wanted? I didn't want to wait till Monday. I didn't want to get more offers. So my negotiation was to wiggle my way to at least get a consideration tonight. It may go still sideways. I may still not lose, I still may lose the offer, but at least I got him to say yes to present the offer tonight. And that's all I'm asking. What if he does and the seller says, holy moly, I'm okay with this. Let's go ahead and accept, right? It's a 50-50 chance that may happen. But again, it's my engagement, my asking questions, and really getting to the listing agent, because the listing agent has all of the information from the seller. Does that make sense? All right. Could I have done it differently? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Okay. You don't want to be a jerk. You don't want to come across ignorant. You don't want to come across with an egotistical way, right? Professional demeanor, just asking questions. That's negotiations, folks. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Who you negotiate with, your clients, the agents, and other side of the transactions, right? Absolutely. Remember what I said earlier, you're in negotiations with everyone, the buyer agent, the seller's agent, the sellers, right? You're in negotiations sometimes with home inspectors. How many times, well, maybe not you, but sometimes I negotiate, third-party companies, home inspection companies. I'll get 3 different home inspection companies. Hey, what are your price to do a general home inspection of the property? It's a 1,500 square feet, 1950 built. Oh, it's $450. Okay, then I call the second one. Oh, it's $500. I call the third one. Oh, it's $375. Okay, I ask pretty much the same information. What does that entail? Okay, I spend, 2 hours looking through every nook and cranny of the property, and then I'll ask, can you do better? Okay, as I said earlier, right? Can you do better? And guess what? Immediately they'll give me a $50, $75 discount.
So, but 375 can't make it up for a week, then I go back to my 450, I can come out in 2 days.
Well,
Because
again,
now that clock's ticking.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is where you need to ask questions, right? Well, at that price, how soon can you get there? Because this is, again, a very tight contingency that I need to get you either in the next day or 2. Because we need to get in, get out as fast as possible. All right. So, again, those are ways in how you can finesse and, get third party as well. Common points of negotiations. Usually the primary factor, the cost of the property, finance time based on both, right? Again, we were role playing earlier, right? And part of the segue was, asking questions. Now, would you ask to submit an offer at a price less than what is being asked if the property just came on the market? Meaning it's a fresh new listing, it's listed for $1 million, and now you want to lowball that offer or submit an offer that is less than $1 million.
I would say no, not in this climate with low inventory, but if we were looking at a different buyer's market, then yeah, you might be able to do that. If it's fresh, days on market, 69, absolutely, but not on a day fresh.
Why?
I just feel like they're not even gonna consider it unless you're the only offer on this, if the property is turnkey and ready to sell. In this market with less inventory,
Gotcha.
you might be
Okay.
insulting that listing agent because he knows he's gonna get 3, 4, 5, 6 other offers.
How do you know he's going to get
Well,
more
I don't know.
offers?
You're right.
How do we know that this agent is out of area, doesn't know diddly squat of the neighborhood, and he overpriced the area?
To me, I would have definitely had a conversation with him. I would find out,
More so, what I would do is do my own research. If you know the neighborhood, and and a lot of agents, if you study the market and you study a specific area, and you know that area, you'll know if a property is where it needs to be, or if it's overpriced. And if it's too below, you're gonna get a shitload, and pardon my language, shitload of offers. So this is what I'm saying here. If you do your research, do your homework.
but if they price it under and do that, where you're driving the cost up as opposed to chasing it down, that's a great tactic, but
100%, but that's not the case. I didn't say that. I said, if we were to pivot and you knew that the property was overpriced because you did your research, right?
usually be a lesson.
Yeah.
Research first.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even if a listing agent listed the property 0 days on market, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get an offer. Look at how many properties on the MLS right now that are 40, 50 days on market with no offer.
They're overpriced.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay, I'm just giving you my thoughts, okay? Take it for face value, okay? I only have 26 years. I'm kidding. I'm still learning this trade, believe me, guys. So yeah, common points, right? Because again, let's just say that you were that good and and I would have a heart-to-heart conversation. How did you come to that price? What comps did you use to get a determining factor of that? I'm just curious. Because I study the market, I know this area, I saw the house is dated. I'm just being realistic because my client wants the property, but they're going to do some renovations to it. I think $1 million may be too high. I don't want to insult your client, but we like to come in with a lower offer. I'm doing it in a professional way, but I'm still trying to get my point across that I'm not gonna go at asking, I'm gonna go below. And that may happen. And I've seen where deals get accepted because they realize, shit, maybe I did overprice. And sometimes, agents may not know. They think because they're using a comp that's over 6 months. They're using comps that are over a mile radius. And remember, there's times, especially in the South Bay, one street to the other changes the trajectory of prices. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at those elements as well. And if an agent doesn't know that one street is over 1 million, where the street here is under 1 million, that's a big difference. Just saying. Okay, so that was quick. Any thoughts? Is this conversation good? Okay, does this resonate? Remember, my ultimate goal is to give you the ammunition that you need in order to be solid agents, come with confidence, and really ask those questions, guys. That's what it boils down to. All right, cool. Let's continue. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick 2, 3, we'll take a 5-minute break. As soon as 11:25, no, excuse me, 12:25, we'll take a quick 5-minute break, stretch, get some coffee, go to the restroom, come right back, and then we'll knock it out, okay? So let's just continue here. So someone just let me know, Simon, it's 12:25. All right, so now we're diving into the 3 P's of negotiations, okay? Prepare, present, position. Preparation is the key to building confidence and ensuring a smooth negotiation process. Present, move into negotiation process by presenting the offer. Position, move both parties closer until have full agreement, right? So again, the engagement in the beginning, right, is you want to get as much information so that way you can get to ultimately present the offer. That leads into the position that you'll get closer and closer to getting that mutual agreement that now we open escrow. Now, I want to stress and I want to emphasize, you don't want to start doing the happy dance because your offer got accepted. You do the happy dance when you officially record. Okay, when you record and you get from the escrow or title and says, we have confirmation of recording, then you do the happy dance. Don't do the happy dance until then, okay? Yes, it's exciting to get your offer accepted. Yes, it's exciting to go through the trenches. Yes, yes, yes. But there's no guarantee that the deal is going to close, okay? The happy dance is not till officially recording, because anything can happen. Anything can happen. Okay. Make sense?
Can I make a real quick thing for the new ones here, because I've been involved in business a long time, and I
Yeah.
want them to not look at negotiations as fearful or problem. Look at it as like we love the art of the deal. We love having those conversations and relish those conversations.
Absolutely.
Don't fear them.
What's so funny, and I'm going to share a little story. I got my negotiations mindset from my mom. I get the personality and the charm from my father. My father is a charismatic, charming individual. My mom, on the other hand, is the hard-nosed negotiator, but she does it with a smile. And I saw the dynamics of both growing up, and how my mom was firm and stern, but she would do it in a nice way, not to insult or make anyone feel bad, but she knew how to maneuver negotiations. My mom, growing up, she was a sales lady without even knowing she was a sales lady. She would go door to door in her 20s prospecting. She would sell what do they call it? Back in the 80s, they, the comforters, the pillowcases, and they would come in these bags. So she would go to the wholesaling companies in LA, buy them at a discount, and then she would go door to door and sell them, upcharge the sale of that. And she would do like payment plans. She would secure a deposit of what she paid for. So if she paid for a queen $50 or a king $75, she would ask for a deposit and then three monthly payments. And then she would, I don't remember what the cost was, but it could have been in the hundreds or $200 price range. But she would secure that in case someone defaulted or someone left and never paid, she didn't lose money. So she at least would get her money from the deposit, and then she would have her little journal, because back then she didn't have computer. So everything was on a little paper, and she would write down the address, the person that she sold it to, how many payments, and ultimately, that's what she did. And I would see my mom do this day in, day out. Now, my mom also worked for the school district. She worked in the cafeteria for almost 32 years. Worked part-time, and then in the afternoons, she would pile all of the stuff, had a couple of workers into the van, and the van was full of all this stuff, right? And then they would hit the streets. That's what I remember growing up, and I hated it. My brother and I hated it because we were doing our homeworks in the van while they were out there door knocking, selling products. But I would see my mom on the phone, negotiations, and even when we go to these wholesalers, how she would navigate those conversations. But going back to Loy's, point is, having the ability, the skill sets, and the avenue to really fine tune those conversations makes you even better. So even in when she would have yard sales and someone would lowball, she was selling something for $10 as an example, and someone said, I'll give you $1, she would chuckle and laugh about it. I won't sell it to you for $1, but I'll do it for $8, and she would just kind of boom, 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 until both would agree. Because the ultimate goal is for her to sell the product, the buyer getting the product, and everyone wins, right? But she just had that finesse and that ability. And even to this day, even though she's retired now, she's still really good at doing that. And I'm at awe on how she does that. And I didn't know I was picking up all this stuff. But later in life, it just like, shoot, I'm like my mom. It's crazy. You pick up on things, so the more you do, the better you get at it. So prepare, know your goals, know your client, think ahead, set clear expectations, be informed, obey the laws, know the documents inside and out, right? Because I can tell you, okay, no one told me to go on a break. It's at 11:25. Take a few minute break, guys.
Sorry, your story is why your mom didn't do it.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Short-term restrictions, the beach area like Manhattan Beach, that's.
Can someone just okay. Just because sometimes it gets a little noisy. I said 5 minutes, guys, not 30 minutes. I'm kidding, guys. All right, cool. All right, so going back again, know your goals, know your clients, think ahead, set clear expectations, be informed, obey the laws. Does all of this resonate with you? Does this all make sense? Yeah, this is all part of it, right? What is the common goal here of what we're trying to accomplish? As we earlier we were role playing. Obviously, know your audience, right? Know your clients' in their demeanor, their approach, and ask a lot of questions. Because that will set the plan of attack, but more so what you're getting yourself into, right? Because if there's a buyer that is unrealistic, are you going to continue working with someone, right? Very picky, cannot make a decision. All these elements play a big role and a big factor. Are you wasting time or not? Because time is money, right? But more so, your goal is to close as many deals. You don't want to be carrying a buyer months. You want to get that buyer immediately in escrow and move on to your next buyer, your next seller, your next buyer. Make sense? All right, so purposeful questions provide you with the points you will negotiate on, provide insights on where you and your clients will have the leverage, set clear expectations, allow you to get to know your clients and their goals, helps you learn what will make it a win-win negotiation for both parties. I mean, it's common factor, right? All of us can be great as long as we know, right? As I said earlier, you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know, right? And this is why we have these classes to really arm you, prepare you, and give you the necessary tools that will make you a rock star professional. At the end, it's you. You're the negotiator, you're the finesse, you are that that brings the deal together. It's your personality, because my personality is going to be different than each and every one of you. Just because I have the years of experience, the knowledge, doesn't mean that my offer is going to be accepted. You might be able to win that and get your offer accepted because there's a lot of elements to it. But it'll give me a closer approach, right? If I at least know the set basic formula to achieve the ultimate goal of getting our offer accepted. Open versus closed questions, open-ended questions, questions that have unlimited response and options, right? What additional information should I know? What is important about closing in 30 days? As I was saying earlier, right? Again, I don't want the close. I want to get as much meat as I possibly can. Write this down because this is vital information on how to navigate that. The more information, the better position. Think of yourself as a detective, okay? You're a detective and you just went to a murder scene and you got 48 hours, okay? To find and identify what transpired, what happened, right? You think a detective is not going to ask a lot of questions, going to look at the evidence, going to set the tone? Absolutely. That's us. We're detectives in our own element of real estate. Asking the right questions, speaking with the right people, analyzing the information on the MLS, and then sitting down with the people that we need to talk, which is our buyers, which is, the listing agent and so on and so forth, right? All those are parameters that will ultimately get you to where you need to be, okay? How do you feel about that? Tell me, what concerns does this make you feel? What can we do to ultimately press forward and pull the trigger to allow this to happen? Okay, questions that expect a specific response. Yes or no? You have to sell your home by a specific date. Yes, by June 21st. Do you have any offers? Yes. How many offers do you have? 5. What's the bottom line price you would consider, right? These are just very concise, embedded questions. Does this make sense? Any thoughts, questions? Okay.
I definitely like the closed in, because you don't want somebody, you want specific answers, so never ask. I had the same thing in retail when I was in retail. It's like, you ask somebody that they can help you, then they're going to say no or yes. It's an open-ended question. But if you ask them more specifically, what they're visiting for, if there's anything particular they're looking for, if you get to the bottom root of why they're there, and because they got in the car, drove, through traffic, they're there, it's Los Angeles, this is your store. They're gonna have a response, you know, now if it's just browsing. Different, I don't wanna go into that, it's a different rabbit hole, but closed-end question is much better.
Closed-end questions are better. So you want more of a yes and no?
Well, if they say yes or no, and I would say a follow-up question would start being, can you be more specific, you know?
So let's go with this. And I get it. Let's go in this direction. Are you ready to sign this offer tonight? Or let me rephrase it. Are you ready to sign this offer right now?
Am I the,
You're the buyer.
if I'm the buyer, I'm ready to sign this offer, you mean I'm the seller?
No. Let me rephrase it again. You're the buyer, I'm the agent. And there's a little bit of hesitation on your part. And you're still uncertain if you want to submit an offer. Okay. But I already prepared the form and I have it in front of you. I just need your initials and signatures. So I'm going with a close-end question. Are you ready to sign this offer?
Right, thanks for the context. So the answer would be, I still need to talk about it with my spouse.
Okay.
With more detail.
Well, your spouse is behind you. What is it that you need to talk to about?
We want to talk in private.
Okay, not a problem. I can step out of the house, take as long as you want. Will 15 minutes be okay?
Yes.
Okay, all right, I'll step outside. I'm back, 15 minutes. You have any questions for me?
No, we decided that we'll go ahead and go.
Beautiful. Okay, sign the paperwork. All right, cool. All right. So it all really depends. It depends on the questions. All right. Some, yes, close in would be ideal. As in this case, yeah, I want a yes, or I want to know. I need to know what my position is. Whereas in an open-ended conversation is if they're being too stern, and where I see close in is sternness, where I see openness, free to speak, to elaborate, to bring. Because my ultimate goal is to get as much information. What is your motivation? From 1 to 10, 10 meaning you're ready to pull the trigger, you're ready to sell your property, you're ready to commit. You cannot say 7, where are you? Right? You can use that also as an avenue of conversation, what we call ice breaking or what do they call it? Breaking the ice? Is that how you said it? Yeah, well, you know what I mean, right? Right? Is I want to see the thermostat on you where you're at. Obviously, the motivation, if you say 10, then that means you're going to sign the paperwork, sign the offer, and ready to rock and roll. Right? Whereas if you say a 5 or less, then I need to dive deeper into why it's a 5 or less. Does that make sense? Okay, so who wants to role play with me? Come on, someone else. Come on. This is negotiations, folks. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. So after everything I presented to you, from a scale 1 to 10, 10, you're motivated and ready to sign this offer so we can submit it to the listing agent. Where are you? And you cannot say 7.
I'm at a 10, but I'm wondering if we could ask them for a lower price.
Okay, you're at a 10, so thank you. All right. Why do you think asking for a lower price is going to benefit us here?
What would benefit me?
Okay, got it. All right. So you know that the property is on the market only a couple of days. Okay, and they're listed pretty aggressive. Okay, so my concern here is that if we go with an offer that's less, they may reject our offer. I'm just telling you. Okay. I can definitely, whatever way you want me to present, I'm willing to do. I'm just giving you my perspective. I think we need to be aggressive because my concern is, and I study this area, they're going to get another offer and I want to nip it immediately so I can at least get our offer accepted. We can open escrow by Monday.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. So I guess what I was trying to do is your motivation, say you're a 4.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's role play with that. Okay, from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning you're motivated. You cannot say 7. What's your motivation in the scale?
Yeah, 4.
Ooh, okay, wow. All right, interesting. Why a 4?
I mean, this house is nice, but what if something else comes on the market that's better?
Okay, so that's a very valid point, and I understand your concern, and this is why I'm here to protect you. So if another property does come on the market while we're in escrow, right? Okay, you do have a contingency period that allows you an opportunity to back out of the deal just in case. Now, part of that is, your physical inspections. Now, if this house doesn't hit all the bells and whistles, I would hate to waste everyone's time, more so our time, but the listing agent and the seller, if we're not 100% satisfied that this is the house. So it's up to you. We can submit an offer, or it's up to you, bypass this one and wait till we find that one that hits all the bells and whistles.
What do you think? We kind of want
Uh,
all dozens of-
I'm not the one buying. I'm not the one responsible for the mortgage payment. It's going to be you and your significant others. So you need to tell me where you stand. I'm here either way. I got your back.
4.
Okay, so maybe this house doesn't hit everything. Maybe we need to pass on this, and this is fine. I will go back and look for more properties, and then I'll send you a list and we'll go through the trenches. I want to make sure that you're completely happy on your home that you desire. So I'm good with that. Awesome. All right. Okay, and that happens. Am I going to be that bully pressuring her? No, this is the one. It hit. Oh, guys, because then they're going to have buyer remorse, right? And then who are they going to blame? They're going to blame me, Simon. Hey, Simon, your fault, buddy. Yeah, you don't want that because you want business from her, business from her friends and family. You do a good job, guess what she's going to do to you? She's going to take care of you just like you take care of her. I want you to refer me your family. I want you to refer me anyone that's looking to buy, sell, colleagues, friends, send them my way. I'll take care of you. Right? That's where a lot of our agents build their book of business, is through referral base. Right, Lloyd? You've been in business, my friend. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's a loyal thing. 100%. 100%. That's just one caveat. You still got to go out there and hunt for more business. Okay. Okay, so what and why question? What would happen if helps you anticipate the next step of the negotiation? Why is this important to you? Helps you gain more information and gain more insight, just similar to what we're having right now, right? I need to know the motivation. This is why I put a scale from 1 to 10. 10 meaning you're ready. Boom, let's rock and roll. Hits all the bells and whistles. She's good with the terms. Or she's in the middle, right? If she's in the middle, then she's more leaning towards not the right property. Her motivation is not there, and that's fine. But I need to hear it because I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what is in her mind. Does that make sense? Okay, you all with me on this? All right, cool. All right, take action. Work with a partner, read the scenario list. Let's go ahead and bypass this. We're already role playing. Is that okay? Or do you guys want to partner up?
What role play? Because we're getting your perspective, so.
So are you okay to role play with me, or do you guys want to role play amongst each other? Okay, cool. All right, cool. So let's just continue and let's see what else we got. Ask a question, your client applies your new knowledge of open and closed questions. Okay, so I think we kind of talked about that. See, I'm already anticipating a lot of the stuff without even knowing. See, I'm a mind reader. I can see. Just kidding. I have it where I can see all the slides. That's good negotiations. You don't know that, but I do. Best practice when presenting. Call the other agent. What did I say earlier? Pick up the phone and call, right? Come on, wake up, smell the flowers. Pay attention to nonverbal cues like pause. How many times have you been on a call? And it's radio silent for a little bit. I do that a lot, especially when agents are screaming and hollering, complaining, attorneys are screaming and hollering, complaining. I pause. I give it a few seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. I make it a little awkward. Why? Is because the reality is agents and people tend to get emotional of what's going in their head at the moment. And then by throwing them off a little bit, by pausing, instead of, have you ever seen, there's, I think on social media, 2 dogs are barking at each other. There's a fence. They can see each other. There's a fence and they're ready to attack and they're barking. Their hairs behind their back is just like up and they're like ready to attack. The door opens slowly. They smell each other and walk away. Literally. Check it out on YouTube. Well, to me, it's that same momentum too. Don't position yourself in an argumental position because it's only putting more fuel to the fire. And the end results is not going to be pretty. Okay, not going to be pretty. So instead, handle it differently and go in an emotion of distance, right? Most of you don't know, I have a law enforcement background. Before getting into real estate, I was an LA County Sheriff Deputy. And I was involved in so many different scenarios because as soon as I graduated the Sheriff's Academy, I did the worst mistake of putting myself in the county jail, working Men's Central Jail, downtown Los Angeles. And, you know, someone that never was in jail was an element of surprise for me because now you're dealing with some of the most notorious people that do notorious crimes, from gang members to assaults to murders, attempted murders, child molesters. I mean, anything and everything goes into the county, right? And that's every county. So it was an eye-opener for me because that's not how I grew up. And it was a wake-up call for me to realize, you know, I need to be able to do my job, but also know that I need to be able to go home safely, right? And yes, it's a safe environment in the jail system, but anything can happen. And it's all about respect. The agents, the inmates want respect, just like the law enforcement want respect. It should be a mutual. And I knew that immediately because I would think, mom can negotiate, mom can diffuse, mom can de-escalate the scenario and ultimately make it a win-win. So that was my philosophy too. Yes, I had the badge. Yes, I had authority, but I also understood that they're in there for a crime. I wasn't using that against them. To me, it's a human being. We all make mistakes, okay? But it's not my job to determine that. Okay, let the court systems handle that, right? My job is to be in a safe environment, have control, make sure that I don't write paper, and ultimately go home. But to do it in a way that if anything hits the fan, right, I am there assertive as a peace officer to ultimately diffuse the situation. So my common goal every day when I would hit a specific module is I knew what module, what assignment, and how many inmates I need to have control in my 8-hour shift. So then I would see, okay, who are the key players? Who are the shot callers? Who do I need to know and have dialogue and conversation? Because my goal is obviously to go and do my job, but also to protect other peace officers and also inmates. That's our job. How many times have you heard, or maybe not, someone committing suicide? in jail, and that happens. Someone that has never been in jail going in for the first time get freaked out. And ultimately, they feel like everyone is threatening them. And some people get beat up. Some people get beat up really bad, right? So it gave me a different perspective and a way to really know how to communicate with people, the calmness. Because I get people call me like complaining. And it's every time. I mean, nothing surprises me now. Men, women, professionals, realtors, attorneys, litigators. I mean, I get calls left and right from people because of a lot of the dynamics of the contracts, right? Or transaction in general. But the more of what I'm trying to say is we need to be the calming force in every transaction. You need to be that one individual that ultimately stays calm through the storm. Because the buyer's anxiety, the seller's anxiety, the emotional aspect of the deal can cause it to go haywire, can cause it to explode, can cause it to cancel. And what are we trying to achieve here? To close the darn deal at the end of the day, right? So utilizing the effectiveness of your ability to really, well, Simon, I'm only 20, I'm only 30, I'm only 40, I'm only 50, I'm only 60 years of age. Okay. I haven't been in those scenarios and situations. I don't know how to handle it. Yes, you do. Hold your composure. Okay. Do the right thing. Act professional. And trust me, you'll be the better man or woman in this case. And I know I deal with a lot of personalities every single day. Agents that go bananas. And I got agents here, don't say it, but I got agents in my office that go bananas. Okay. But I still try to diffuse the situation. Do I always win? No. But that's part of negotiations, folks. Okay. You're in the trenches, you're out there in the field dealing with it, but your goal is to calm the force, calm. And you'll become a better person. Okay. Any thoughts, questions, or concerns regarding best practice? Oh, it says right here, number 5, stay calm and relax. Oh, God, you guys are awesome. You're saying, God, this Simon is something else. What the heck did I get myself into Ignite today? Should have stayed home and made some calls instead. Position, acknowledge and affirm common ground, ask what and how questions, know the position in a process and know when to walk away, right? Sometimes we do. You diffuse, you escalate, you back out, right? That's okay. Sometimes it's meant to be, folks. Sometimes you can press, and the deal is still going to fall apart. It's out of your control, and you got to know just to let it go. There's a song, let it go, let it go, let it go. All right, think about it. Simon says, let it go, let it go, let it go. You had the resource too, guys. I am here, the broker. We got legal. You can speak to an attorney. You can speak to TC. You can speak to a lender. You can speak to our escrow officer, whoever. We have the resources. Don't think that you're by yourself. We're here as one goal, one team. Gotcha? Yeah, you guys good? All right. All right. Work your same partners, read the scenario, complete the role playing. Bypass. All right. Any ahas from it today? Any thoughts, questions, concerns, complaints? You can put complaints. I'm not going to take it personal. All right, let me share with you a war story. Okay. Is that okay? Am I okay to give you war story? Because I believe that instructions is great, but real life scenarios is the ultimate awesomeness of a real estate transaction. Meaning either if I've been involved in a transaction or one of my agents been involved in a transaction. Okay. Because you'll pick up something from it. And if it's okay to really humble myself in front of you and tell you my story, is that okay? Is that a yes? Is that a no? I can't hear you, folks.
Yeah.
I need everyone to raise their hands. If yes, if one says no, I'm perfectly fine. Not everyone raised their hand, but that's okay. I'm still gonna tell you, because I'm negotiating with you. All right, so here's the story that I'd like to share with you. So I was a young real estate agent. I got my real estate license at the age of 24. I became a police officer at the age of 23. So 1 year after, I decided I'm going to get my real estate license, right? Which has been the blessing. So when I got my real estate license, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know real estate. I didn't know anything. Back in the 90s, it was a different element than what we have right now. But what I learned was, in one of my niches and my things that I love and had a passion was doing open houses. That was my thing. I didn't like picking up the phone. Hello, may I speak with the owner? I know your house is expired. I just didn't know. I didn't feel comfortable. And a lot of us are not comfortable with cold calling, right? Or door knocking, right? So I started doing open houses. I thought, spend a couple hours, put some signs, put a registry, smile as people come in, and hope that someone wants to buy, sell, or invest, right? The goal is to someone buy this house. Well, I was doing a property in the city of Whittier. Anyone know where Whittier is at? Okay, out on the San Gabriel Valley, right off the 605, right off of Beverly. And I still, to this day, I remember this because it really poised, is it how you say poised? Not poison, but poised. Yeah, me, and really humbled me from this personal experience that I have. And to this day, I still share it because it can happen to any of us. So again, I was a young agent doing this open house. I had my signs. I was eager and excited. And I started doing the open house, right? It came 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, whatever the time was, and it was on a Saturday. I was still working in law enforcement, but I didn't have to go in until 6 p.m. So I would do the open house, go home, get ready, head out, and make the drive to downtown. So again, not knowing, the elements of it, but I felt comfortable doing open house. So people were coming in. I was telling them, hi, thank you so much for coming into the open house. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet on a 74 lot size. The home was built in 1955. House has been completely renovated. Also has a swimming pool. Please come in, please sign. And if you have any questions, let me know. Here's a flyer. Thank you. And then it would walk, right? It got to the point where in about an hour and 50 minutes, there were so many people that I started losing control. So many people were coming in because it was on a main boulevard of Beverly Boulevard, which is a lot of traffic. So one side, it's all you needed because it was on the corner of a very busy street. But I had put 20 signs out there. And I think that's what did it. Because remember, we didn't have internet back in the day. So I go ahead and, guys, oh my goodness, people were coming left and right. Well, I was trying to, and I say trying, which I don't really use that word anymore, but I was trying to accommodate everyone that was coming in. Everyone, I was trying to make a commitment that I needed a traffic control, because there was a lot of people coming in, but I was trying to make an effort to speak with everyone and going through that pitch of, thank you for coming to the open house. My name is Simon with so-and-so real estate company. And I'll say Keller Williams at the time. And, giving them the flyer. Well, this individual came in, and this was a very high influence neighborhood. It was a neighborhood at that time that was probably about 700,000 at that time. This was mid-90s. That home is probably now $1.8 to $2 million. All right. So you had a lot of sophisticated homeowners in the area. So this individual comes into the open house, and I look and I profile this individual. Okay, I profile. Okay, older lady,
coming into the open house. And my assumption was, in my head, I don't think she would be able to qualify for a house here or buy a house here. So that was the mindset as a young, naive agent that I was, right? And we as law enforcement, we don't profile, but we do. We see baggy pants, tattoos, you know, the profile of a gang member, we're gonna profile, we're gonna try to hit him up and see, you know, if he has any felonies or whatever the case, right? Now, that's what I ended up doing. So I ignored this individual, even though she wanted my attention, I was putting my attention somewhere else. So after looking at the home, I noticed that 2 young children were with her as well. And when they came in, they said that our grandma would like to speak with you. And I said, well, who is your grandma? And they pointed that it's the lady that's in the back looking at the house. Oh, I said, okay, I will get to her in a moment. Thank you. And I left it alone. More people were coming and I was bombarded with that. And I never had an opportunity to really talk to her. I saw her and the kids take off. They jumped in the car. And ultimately, that was it. Never saw her in that time frame. And then maybe about a week or so, I was at the office. And I see the same lady in the office. And I was talking to one of my colleagues and I said, is she here seeing someone? And he says, yeah, I think he's here with one of our top agents. So I kind of walk and I see that she goes into his private office and they're in there talking for a long time. So I kind of leave it alone and I'm thinking, yeah, that was the same lady that was at my open house. So they must have spent about a good hour and 15 minutes. She comes out, she leaves, he comes in, and back in the day we had bells. Anytime you had a closing, an offer accepted, or a listing taken, you would go. We used to have one here in the office back in the day where you used to ring the bell. That was just the way we used to do things, right? So I see Mr. Maldonado go out and ring the bell. And so I was like, okay. So I talked to Mr. Maldonado, who's one of our top agents at the office, and I said, hey, congratulations. He says, yeah, thank you very much. I go, did you get a list? What's going on? He goes, no. The lady that came in here just bought 2 properties, all cash. Yeah, right on time, baby, right on time. And I was kind of taken back. I said, the lady because she came in my open house about a week earlier. Yeah, she had won the California lottery. She had won $8 million. Yes!
Studios.
She bought 2 properties, one for her, and then one for her daughter with the 2 little girls. All cash. All cash, folks. So the moral of what I'm trying to tell you is, don't profile anyone. Everyone, treat them like if they have won the California lottery, because you just never know. People that look like they don't have money are the ones that have money. The ones that look like they have money sometimes don't. But again, do not profile. Make sense? So that's one of my war stories. I'll continue sharing some more. But yeah, interesting, right? What a fool. What a fool. If I could just talk to that one young agent of me, I would say, yeah. All right. Be professional, keep your goals in mind, pay attention. I think you all understand the elements of that, right? Any thoughts, questions, concerns? Let's move forward. Training gets better with feedback. Give us your feedback. Now, I don't want you to say, oh, Simon does this, Simon does that, even though we're recording all this. All right, so let's continue.
No, of course not. Of course not, of course not. All right, obviously, you all know that we have to be mindful of the do not call list, right? If someone that you're calling says, hey, take me off your list, make sure that says, my apologies. I will definitely remove you from my list, and I will also let my office know to put you on the do not call list, okay? We had an incident with one of our agents where we had a professional person, and this guy was 22 years old out of Chicago, Illinois, who called me and says, hey, your agent called me. My number is registered on the do not call list. I'm asking for $3,000. If you don't pay it, I will sue you, sue the company, sue the agent, and I win cases all the time. And immediately the following day, I get a certified letter, and this guy who either had an attorney or was practicing as an attorney had a very compelling letter. I immediately sent it to our risk management team, sent it over. They says, yeah, this is the same guy that has been hitting all kinds of people, and he knows the maneuver and how to do so. We need to settle with this guy because he will file and he will win. So I had to have that hard conversation with the agent. Says, look, you called, you didn't scrub the list, and therefore, we may have to pay. So thank goodness for my negotiations, I was able to get rid of this guy for pennies on the dollar, because he was pressing hard that he wanted his $3,000. So ultimately we settled, and we sent him a check out to his office, and we took him off the list. And what happened, he ended up hitting several other market centers that now became a regional call, and said, hey, if this person ever calls, be aware. It's like, oh, geez, that's the same guy. So be very careful, folks. Okay, any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you verify before calling? Is it like a website for that?
Well, most of your third-party companies that provide you with the list of sellers should already give you that this number is registered, this number is registered. Now, sometimes it falls under the cracks, and you may get that individual. So immediately, if they say, how did you get my number? Okay, take me off. You immediately stop any and all conversations, and don't fall trap, because what they try to do is they need to let you know that my number is registered. That immediately says, I apologize, you will be taken off the list, and that's it. Do not go into a conversation, because what they do is they do a trap. They ask more and more questions because they want to ask all of your information. Where's your office? Who is the broker? And they play it as if they're role playing with you to get as much information, so that way they can arm themselves to send out a letter. And this is what they did with one of our agents. So be very mindful of that. All right, engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me, right? Absolutely, right? Everything, it's like dating, okay? You're dating for the first time, and it's like the vibe is there, everything is awesome. So that's how it should be. Remember, this is like that, right? When you're dating a buyer, dating a seller, you got to maneuver, or dating another agent, right? You got to date that agent for 30 days if you're in escrow, right? Do you want that good experience, or you want that bad experience? You can narrate that as you choose. You can make it a bad experience, but you can also make it a good experience as well. So take it for face value, folks. All right, so role playing, prepare a conversation list, lead gens, update context. Okay, you guys are all doing that, right? You got your database, you got your command up, you're doing all, because remember, they say that if you have a minimum of 201 contacts on your command, you should be able to hit at least a minimum of a 6-figure income your first year. Remember, your phone probably has at least a minimum of 100, 200 contacts on your phone. Utilize that and leverage yourself, because that's where you're going to get most of your business in the very beginning until you start building your pipeline, right? Every time you're interacting with someone, hey, here's my business card. Do you have a business card? Everyone has business cards now, right? Or ask them, hey, can I, give you my business card? Can I have your number? Get all that information, put them into your database, because they may not be in the position right this minute to buy or sell or invest, but in the near future, they may be in that position, or they may know someone. And this will give you an opportunity to really just say, hey, I know it's been a month since our last conversation, just wanted to check in. By the way, I'm still, doing real estate. My number one goal this coming quarter is to help 5 families achieve home ownership. Who do you know that I can help? Right? Who's not going to give you, I have someone, right? Now it's a lot of calling, but a lot of follow-up to ultimately get that one buyer. It's the hustle, folks. Hey, it's the hustle. But the ones that are willing to hustle, the ones that are willing to put in the time, the ones that are willing to devote and dedicate and really see the big picture of real estate are the ones that win, and win highly, big time. Okay. Who wants to make $250,000, $500,000, $750,000, $750,000, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million? Guess what? You can do it in real estate. It only takes action. Action. All right. Obviously, use command contacts to help, right? We have classes on that as well to really just give you the perspective and the avenue to really utilize the technology that we have, right? Think of all this, the laptops, the phones, television, these funky that follow you now, right? Cameras, right? The awesome part of what we do in real estate is you don't necessarily physically have to be there. You can do that via Zoom, text message, via email, and phone calls, and get the deals. You know how many people? I have one agent that lives in where does she live? In Portugal, and she does 2 to 3 deals a month. Not even living in the U.S. Actually leverages herself with one of her agents here, but she still gets paid a fat, decent commission, folks. And this is someone that doesn't even live in the U.S. anymore. She retired to Portugal, and still has connections in the Inglewood area. No excuses, folks. None. You got this. All of you, in my eyes, are millionaires. Act if, right? There's a couple movies that I definitely recommend. Write them down. One of the movies that I recommend is called The Founder. The Founder. The Founder. That is the McDonald's one. Yep. Persistence. Persistence. The reason I recommend that, because it has the skill sets of a vision to be an entrepreneur, but it gives you insights to being persistent in our daily hustle. The Founder. The next one, Air. Air. Yep, like Air. I think what's the movie? The most recent movie about the Nike and Michael Jordan story. Yeah, highly recommend it. It has a lot of the skill sets and the persistence, but more so really being disciplined and direct and finding the avenues to get to where you need to be. In this case, Nike was trying to get Michael Jordan to endorse the Nike Air Jordan shoes, which is a phenomenon, right? Imagine that, right? Because Michael did not want Nike. He wanted, was it Converse or Adidas, I think? Adidas, yeah. He wanted like a Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. So at that, in that time and era, right? But Nike was able to convince him. And, there's a lot of also negotiations, and the negotiations from the mom, Jordan's mom, Dolores Jordan. Yeah, it's a good movie. The next one, it's called The Boiler Room. Boiler Room. Old 90s movie. Boiler Room.
You mentioned Jerry Maguire.
Show Me the Money. Maybe, I was not too fond of that movie.
It's it's more of a love story.
Yeah. So The Boiler Room, it's a old nineties movie. It's about Wall Street, but really the tenacity of the hustle, picking up the phone, negotiations and really seeing the value. It's just, again, the mindset, right? Is what we're trying to accomplish. So The Boiler Room. And then the other movie that I definitely recommend that's great when it comes to sales, negotiations, and hustle is the original Wall Street. The original Wall Street. Okay, not the Wolf of Wall Street. Okay. Yeah, it was great, but it didn't really give you really the style as the Wall Street movie with what's the actor? Michael Douglas, thank you. Gordon Gekko, yes. Those are the only ones I can think right now. I know there's more that are great sales tactics, negotiations, but overall, just great movies to watch. Cool. All right, team. That's it. I am done. Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you. So just to kind of finalize this and recap, folks, remember, you are the negotiators, and ultimately, remember the win-win in all, right? That's what it really boils down to, is your ability to finesse that and look at it from all perspective, not just your perspective or your clients, but what is in it for everyone to achieve that common goal, right? Negotiations is also your ability to really see things and ask a lot of questions too, right? If you have life experience, your level of competence will be different than someone that is in their 20s, right? Or hasn't really seen a lot in life, but that's okay. This is why we have research, information, and avenues to really gather. Like YouTube is one of my best resources. I go to YouTube, I can be a plastic surgeon if I want to. I just go to YouTube, right? Utilize the resources. Google, utilize your resources. A couple websites, and then I'll cut it, is MikeFerry.com. MikeFerry.com, TomFerry.com, okay, are two great what do you call them? Sales professionals that help real estate agents. I'm an old school Mike Ferry top guy. So it's MikeFerry.com, and then his son. Yeah, it's Tom Ferry is his son.
That's my answer.
Mike Ferry and Tom Ferry is Mike Ferry's son.
Christine Goldberg and I recently saw it, like very soft.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Very old school, but phenomenal.
Yeah.
He has on his website a lot of free, scripts and things like that.
Absolutely. So go to these websites, register, because you can get scripts in English and Spanish and Italian. And then I would recommend the trigger cards, where you can do a listing presentation, buyer consultation, and objection handlers too. So you can practice and really fine tune your skill sets. All right.